Okay, it's Mucker J here at Hard Rock L9. We are on the final day, probably the biggest day of the weekend. It's going to be a big party tonight, and I'm here with two of the guys from City of Thieves. Good morning.
Check is written down.
I know, I got my dummy sheets here. Good morning, young man.
It was a good night last night, was it? You can't remember.
Yeah, we were in bed at 10. Went to bed early last night, so it's Jamie and Adam. Have you been here all weekend first?
No, we've just got here.
Yeah.
You're the first person we've seen since we got here.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you get to see the most awesome person of the weekend. Nothing will. You could actually
If
go
only,
home now.
if only for the clothes.
Yeah, you could actually go home now and say, right, the weekend's done. It's perfect.
Did you go to? Yep, I saw him. That was it. Yeah. Did you play? No, was no point after that.
You saw that twat and you thought, wow, how can I out twat that man? So let's talk about City of Thieves. Give us a little bit of background when they started and what they're about.
So basically, our first show was in May of this year at Camden Rocks in London, and we just spent some time getting all the material and stuff together, getting the album done, and then we auditioned for this fella over here. As soon as the lineup was sorted, we had our first show and announced all the name change and everything, the new band in May. And then since then, we've done Bloodstock. We did Legends of Rock last month. We've been confirmed here. We're playing at Planet Rocks Festival in December, and a couple of other bits and pieces as well. So it's been a bit of a roller coaster since that.
It's quite a big, very fast start to a band, isn't it? Because obviously, so it's a brand new band. You've obviously been around the block a bit.
Yeah.
You know, you're not young men, so you've been in other bands. But how does this compare to previous? You know, coming in as this band and then getting all these festival gigs and big gigs that you're doing.
It was, to be honest, the process. Although it seemed like it kind of took off straight away, the building process to get to that point took about 2 years. So from starting writing the album, getting the album together, working with Toby and from the Angels who produced the album, and is now managing us and kind of building it up. That in the background was going on for a couple of years while we were the previous incarnation. So me, Ben, and Will, the other two that aren't here, we'd been together as a band for about 8 years. So the core of the band's been playing together for that long, and then and once all of that was sorted, finding Adam and getting the final bits together, everything had been kind of going on in the background, and even a lot of the songs we got a chance to road test them even before the new band launched. So we came in with at least half the set that we were comfortable that worked. So it kind of the relaunch was more or less by name, and then kind of everything had been building in the background. So it kind of appeared like everything then came from there.
So is Toby part of the reason for that? Because of obviously his experience over the years. Did he give you the foundations and draw all this plan up for you?
It was kind of, there was a lot of people that we knew already anyway, and there was another guy who's our other co-manager who works for Strange World Management who had actually been keeping an eye on us for the last kind of 4 or 5 years before that, and it was him that introduced us to Toby, and so that all went way back as well. So again, I think it was a catalyst once we got the product together, but there was a lot of people in the background that we'd known for a while and that were kind of aware of who we were and were looking for kind of what was our next step going to be and what was the new band going to look like and sound like and name change and all that kind of thing. So ostensibly he was the guy that kind of lit the touch paper kind of, but there was a lot of stuff that was already in place before that as well.
Right. So yeah, it's been a long process, but so although you're a brand new band, you're not really a brand new band, but it's brand new to some people.
It is.
It's a new name, and new kind of. It's obviously previous to that, obviously had been working on the album and stuff, and since when I've come into the band, they kind of had it's basically a new take on the music, new approach to it. And obviously, just going out, just getting out, playing the festivals, getting out there, and just playing the shows. That's when you just.
So you've got, and you're working on a new album. You've got an EP out.
We have, yeah.
How's that working for you?
Really good. It only came out in September.
Yeah.
So we'd recorded the whole album with Toby at Vale Studios in Worcester, and we were kind of the process then was choosing what songs were going to go on the EP. And getting the mixing sorted. So we were super lucky that we could get Mike Fraser to mix the EP for us. Obviously, he's done Aerosmith and Metallica and all that kind of thing. So to get someone like him on board was really big for us to do that. It was like a you know, like, it was great. You're getting text messages at like 4 a.m. with Mike Fraser going, "Come on, wake up! You've got to listen to this mix and tell me what you think." Well, I've got time to tweak it and all this. You're going, this guy's like worked with all these people and he's texting me and I've got his phone number and all this. And so we had like 5 days on the trot of waking up at like 4 a.m. going, "Oh, what's he done? What's he done?" Going and listening to it, cranking everything up at like 4 a.m. and annoying the neighbours and stuff. But that was great. So we've now got the rest of the album recorded, and we're just waiting to kind of see how the EP does, see how we kick on, and then we'll look at getting the album mixed and maybe out for summer, autumn next year.
Yeah. You've got some plans already for next year. You're confirmed for Rock Barcelona.
Rhodes Rock Barcelona, yeah. That's going to be great.
We've been talking to Massive Wagons earlier, who've also been confirmed for that. They've played Ibiza for Hard Rock Hell for the last few years, but now they're going to go and do this Barcelona.
Yeah.
Is it a good thing to get UK bands out there into these kind of things?
Definitely. I mean, we've been working with the guys who put Rhodes Rock. Initially, what was Rhodes Rock used to be in Rhodes in Greece, and the guy that puts that all together, he just wants to build an atmosphere pretty much like Hard Rock Hell. Really, everyone kind of knows each other. You go out there, it's all about the bands interacting with the people who go on holiday for it, and we kind of got involved with them, and they run other events around the UK as well. And it's now moved to Barcelona next year, which is really good. There's a good solid load of people that will go, at least probably 1,000 people that will fly out there for that week, and then obviously to get all the bands out there is really great for us. And that's not the only show we're doing with the Wagons Boys either this year. No.
Is that to do with the O2 gigs?
No.
Am I not supposed to tell you about that?
No. What's this?
That's not on here. I've just listened to their interview and they just mentioned something about academies.
Ah, right. No, they're supporting us.
That's with Trucker and Screaming Eagles. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. I apologise.
So which one?
Well, they're playing with us at the Black Heart in Camden on the 18th of December. That's the one, yeah.
Right.
Which is our that'll be our first actual headline show in London since the relaunch. Yeah, so it's the first time we'll have a proper home gig for us for the first time since that'll be 7 months into the band and the first time we've done a headline show in London. So
how important do you find that though? A lot of bands you hear they swamp their local area too much and play like every couple of months.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, you've got to be careful that you don't, obviously, because you want to make sure when you play somewhere, you want to make sure that people that you're not overplaying places. You know, we want to do a good show as well. It's important that we do when we play these places that we give these people kind of the best we can offer them. And we've kind of, obviously, with the relaunch of the band and stuff, it's probably taken up until December to kind of be in a position where we can go, we're going to...
Yeah, where you're at your best now, because it's all been a road test. Like
you
say, you've been road testing all year, so
I think
go there and give a big Christmas.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. And we were definitely guilty of what you said in the preprevious incarnation of the band, just swamping, because we didn't know what else to do. Like, you go and you play and you get people, and we'd regularly pull... 300 to 500 people in bars and stuff. There was a massive bar, and
why you were getting booked.
That was it. So we were, and that was it. And then what do you do?
We can earn money.
You get paid, and what we realised we had to do was stop swamping the kind of those bars and remove ourselves from it. Then we built the fan base and go, right, if all of them will now buy a ticket to come and see us, then that says a lot more. If you can fill the underworld and
you get more money. They can earn more money. Everybody earns more money.
Exactly.
You need the money because you can't carry on.
But you can't just keep. Yeah, exactly. The business side's important, but also for the perception that when you get onto meeting people like Toby and talking about doing the album and stuff like that, it's a lot more impressive if you can say, we sold 300 plus tickets at the Underworld, than 400 people come to the Big Red to see us. As much as that was an awesome place and where we built a lot of the fan base from. People like numbers and statistics and stuff, don't they? So you've got to kind of try and ladder yourself up until someone gives you a hand.
Yeah, it all sounds really exciting for this year, and obviously what you've got planned for next year. So you're still quite new and fresh, but you're excited about what's coming forward and.
Yeah, I think we're genuinely just starting to hit our straps as a band now. Everything's comfortable and second nature, and like the new songs don't feel like. New songs that you kind of treat with kid gloves and stuff like that. We can dig into them now and really kind of let rip with them, which is where we want to be.
Awesome.
That's really
Fantastic. Okay, just for the listeners and the people watching the YouTube videos, just give us your websites and how they can find your music and things like that.
Sure. It's easy. cityofthieves.london. We got one of those cool new. Yeah.
You posh boy.
Aren't we? Yeah. Even though
hell.
he just puts the northern accent on to throw people off. Represent the other side of the band. You can go all the music's on Spotify. It's on iTunes. It's on Amazon MP3. You can shop through the cityofthieves.london website as well. Get everything from there. So it's all the usual places that you'd expect. And there's a new video coming out definitely before Christmas. I don't know the exact date yet for the second single that was on the cover of Classic Rock this last month.
Yeah.
That's coming out in probably the next month or so. Well, it'll have to be because it's Christmas, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We're only 5 weeks away.
So it'll be out before Christmas, and there's the YouTube channel as well. You can get to that through the site. So there's stuff out there.
Plenty going on. Just finally, obviously, the other way people can listen to you is through TBFM. How important do you find stations? We're still relatively small, but we've been recently labelled as the new Kerrang of old. When Kerrang first started, before they sold out, I don't mind slagging them off. But how important do you find getting the music out to the smaller radio stations that don't have the big reach, rather than just going to Planet Rock and people like that?
It's very important, because with YouTube and streaming, everybody gets the music through the phones. I mean, so to be on is kind of the radio, YouTube channels, kind of blogs. That's where it is now. That's where
it's online, isn't it?
That's where people are listening to music. That's where the fans are. Yeah. So it'll be foolish not to kind of embrace that and kind of take on those roots and speak to. Instead of, if you've got the big guys at the top, that's great. But you need that. It's like with me. It's a band. You need the other. You also need the guys that keep it running at the bottom as well. And you need that. It's so important to get the music out there and let people know what you're about, and vice versa. Get you guys out. Get the bands out.
Yeah.
I think when you start out as well, it doesn't matter what your perception of any other outlet is. They probably have a bigger listenership than you do as a band. So you can't afford to kind of overlook people in any situation that are going to put your music out there to people that might not otherwise hear it.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a small community station that has 20 listeners, but those 20 listeners might like your music and buy your CD, which is a better comeback than Kerrang Radio.
Exactly.
20 people.
Just get another dig in there.
I didn't mean to,
but no, I think with that whole situation as well, is there are people that feel disenfranchised with the bigger stations, the bigger names, and I'm not going to say any names because I can't say that. But
whisper to me and I can say, no, that's not.
People will say, well, I don't listen to that because I'm fed up of hearing the same song every 5 minutes or, the same playlist every day. And then people will start to look, if they're into new music and into bands coming up, they'll look to the stations and outlets that are actually giving those bands a push. Because I do think we're headed for a bit of a stalemate in rock at the moment anyway, because I think we just reached a critical point where a lot of people are starting to think, actually, what are we going to do when all these bands stop
it's coming,
playing?
Isn't it? It's coming to a peak right now. You look at Download next year. For me, it's a cracking lineup because I've not seen any of those three headliners. Yeah. I didn't start doing festivals till 2 years ago. So for me, it's great. But Rammstein aren't going to be going in 5 years or 10 years time. They can't keep it. They can't keep that thing going. Iron Maiden haven't got much left.
No.
Black Sabbath have got nothing left. Yeah. They can't. They're dragging one more.
DC are quitting this year, aren't they? After this tour.
Well, there's a claim they're doing another one next year. There's already rumours that they're coming back to the UK next year.
But that's one of their kind of we'll do another leg of the tour kind of thing. I think once they come off, then that'll stop. But I think you're reaching like a critical point because I think you can imagine. I mean, Hard Rock Hell is great because you get this community here where there's 4,000 odd people.
We don't need the massive bands here anyway.
No, because you've got the brand is enough. But I don't think once those what people would call ticket sellers stop playing at something like Download, I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility that Download Festival will start to downsize. No. To kind of Bloodstock level and then lower than that maybe.
They've got somebody else coming through. They're all
called the Downsize Festival.
The Downsize. Yeah. But from our point of view, from the small, you should copyright that one. Get it before they do.
Come on, Andy.
London.
Andy Copping, come and get me. Yeah.
Downsizefestival.london. Yeah, bring it here. But yeah, I believe, although, like you say, that's coming to a peak, I'd say in 5 years' time, it could go one way or the other. But in the meantime, we've been talking about the smaller festivals. There's only two major big ones that our scene is interested in now, which is Download and Bloodstock.
And Bloodstock's not huge by any stretch of the imagination.
No, it's not, but it's still growing. It's still getting there. It's only 9 years old,
I tell you what,
10
though,
years
it's
old.
a great atmosphere, that festival.
Yeah,
We
indeed.
played there in August, and it's so friendly. It's like, genuinely, the atmosphere is more like a kind of, I don't know, dare I say it, but it's almost got like a Glastonbury-esque atmosphere.
It's very much like this, but we're camping.
Yeah.
And so it's very, and a lot more bands, obviously. 126 bands or something like that. But next year we feel that is going to be the year for the smaller festivals. Our festival itself is in its second year next year, and we're already looking at bigger bands for 2017. We've got small ones like SOS, which is in its 9th year, and Beer Mageddon, which is like a small version of Bloodstock.
Yeah.
And that's on its 5th year next year. So everyone's getting excited about these bands, and the big bands that are not quite the top list, your B-list bands.
Yeah.
They're going for the smaller festivals because they're actually finding it's better, because you could play to 100,000 people and get 1% sales, or you could play to 500 people and get 90% sales. You're actually going to sell more merch at a small festival than you are at a big festival.
And also the people that are going to find sort of look those festivals up will be the people that are genuinely kind of into into their music, into their kind of consumer side of it as well, because they want to collect stuff. They want to be the first person that saw this band, the first person that saw that band. And I think that's happening because there's a massive lack of, genuine push behind new music. I think like almost, for want of a better word, obviously the industry, but I think people, they're not sure who to back in terms of bands. So you've got a lot of bands attaining the similar kind of level, and no one's kind of getting to that next section. I think because people got comfortable with the established order and the big bands and the ticket
same ones
sellers
every year because they were pulling the crowd.
Precisely, and then now they're kind of going, what are we going to do when they're not around? So it is genuinely, and I'm not going to sit here and stag things off because I'm not going to do that.
In 5 years you want to be that band.
Well, precisely, but doesn't everybody?
Yeah,
that's it. Everyone wants to be in that situation.
That's also a buzz, because these bands that are on the way up now, they know in 5 years when Metallica are finished, and Iron Maiden and Black Sabbath are all, sat there with a pipe and slippers, someone's got to fill that. Yeah. Fill that gap.
Or it's got to start again and rebuild and get back to that level. But I think once
2020, that's the year.
Do you reckon? That's not a bad shout, actually.
5 years. I think 5 years, and we're either going to be in a real mess or we're in for a new era.
There's still plenty of bands who can fill those beats.
Yeah.
There's still been this music, there's such, even that kind of our level and stuff, there's so many bands that are doing it. And
it's just, some of the festivals that just don't have the balls to do it. Bloodstock did it this year. I think they put Within Temptation, got absolutely battered for doing it. Everybody come away and said that was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
So
that is the one thing that's weird about rock fans. They're very territorial, aren't they?
Fickle.
It's like, when I remember when like, people like Metal Hammer would start covering people like Bring Me the Horizon, and they just got slated. You're going, but guys, they're a metal band. They play.
You've got to see them in a few years because they're going to be the band. I mean, everybody was slating for Bloodstock next year, saying, "Oh, it's going to be Bring Me the Horizon or Bullet for My Valentine." Well, if they're the bands that are on the way up, you've got to fucking give them.
And like, lest we forget, Bullet for My Valentine have been around for a long time as well. It's not like they're new or anything like that.
They're established. They've done it. So but Bloodstock, I'm sure that they get absolute. The Gregory family get absolutely fucking like, oh my god, I'm dreading doing this announcement tomorrow because I know everyone's gonna fucking go blah blah blah.
But it's just the way. I mean, it's like football teams, isn't it? And we're all playing the same fucking game here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like...
Let's not talk football. I support the worst team at the minute. So
Chelsea.
Aston Villa, even worse at the minute. Oh, you're fucking Arsenal fans, aren't you? I bet you are.
No. Well, I'm not. No.
Let's not go for.
No, okay.
Actually, no. Let's tell us. Come on, tell us your football team before we finish.
Football.
He's a
I'm more of a
rugby
rugby guy.
I thought he was
so rugby.
You're a northerner, aren't you?
Real
Wigan.
But yeah.
Thought so. I was a Wigan fan for a while.
And I'm more of a rugby guy as well. I live in Twickenham, so I'm right by the England ground.
so
So,
yeah,
so
you
I
would be.
I'm in that little enclave of London where, rugby's the sport. But
Not many for London, is it? It's more
no, there's a
football
couple of
than-
London clubs, but they're not huge. They don't pull that many. And like, I grew up. That was more what I watch, and so that's what gets me. But if it is football, and I'll get slated for this, but it's United for me.